one has come. So he came before Mahaprabhu, like 60 years or more before Mahaprabhu has come to prepare the path. And when Mahaprabhu left, Lord Nityananda left, Advaita also was the last to leave as well. He stayed like 20 plus more years after Mahaprabhu. So he's like the priest that performs the yajna for the benefit of the world. So the priest invites the deity during yajna, and after yajna, then also telling the deity to, like, you can go. So in Mahaprabhu Lila, that was Advaita Acharya. Before Mahaprabhu disappeared, he sent a note to Mahaprabhu, like a riddle. He's saying like, oh, time to close the shop. He said like, oh, all rice has already been distributed. He actually said like, one message from a madman to another madman. He said like, now all the rice has been distributed. Now the shops can be closed, like that. So some who heard that, they don't understand, and they were just smiling. But Swarup Damodar and those associates who knows Mahaprabhu, then they became grave. They know, oh, now time for the end of that manifest pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So today, the appearance day of Advaita Acharya, we are remembering him, we're praying to him. Said, ha, Prabhu, Sitapati, Advaita Gosai, Tava Kripa Balipai, Chaitanya Nitai, by the strength of your mercy, Tava Kripa Balipai, we can attain Chaitanya Nitai. So don't think that you can just directly get mercy of Nitai and Chaitanya. They are so merciful. But if not for the strength of mercy of Advaita Acharya, we cannot attain that. So today, therefore, very mercifully, especially we honor and appreciate Glories of Advaita Acharya. Pray for his mercy, that by his mercy, then truly Mahaprabhu can appear in our hearts. Lord Nityananda can appear in our hearts.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshur-unmilitam yena tasmai Shri-Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalayai Krishnaya Krishna-Bhaktaya Tad-Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Vandeham Shri-Guru Varam Shri-Rupanuga-Pravaram Vrajrasrasikam Cha Narayanam Tam Prapannam Shri-Guru Charanam Vande Ramana Pristhaya Bhutale Rupanuga-Bhaktiram Cha-Kripamurti Narayanam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaur-Bhaktivedanta Panchatattatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jai Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer my Shastam and pranams at the lotus feet of our spiritual masters. Glories Srimad Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev. Glories Srimad Bhaktivedanta Shri Vaman Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev. To our entire Rupanagari Guru Varga, to our guardians and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and Shri Advaita Acharya himself, whose much more auspicious Avirbhav Tithi we are observing today. Advaita Saptami, which is also called Rakta Saptami. We've heard from the Vaishnavas before. In South India especially, they take out this procession and they take Vishnu out in a ratha and they do temple parikrama during this time, this occasion. Therefore, it's also called Rakta Saptami in South there. So we just heard now Mahavishnu, how Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu. So we heard this Leela that this in Dwaraka, that this Brahmin, all his sons were dying, and then Mahavishnu wanted to have darshan. Actually, I don't think that was Mahavishnu. That was Karna, that was Kshiropdasai Vishnu. Because we know there are three Purusha avatars. There is Karnapdasai Vishnu, Garbhodasai Vishnu, and Kshiropdasai Vishnu. So this Vishnu who wanted to have darshan of Sri Krishna was actually Kshiropdasai Vishnu, not Karnapdasai. When we speak of Advaita Acharya, he is actually Karnapdasai Vishnu, not Kshiropdasai. Therefore we say, to rescue these Brahmin boys, Krishna, when he took Arjuna and he went through all the different coverings of the universe, he went to this Shirodak ocean, where Shirodashai Vishnu was present, who's Paramatma in everyone's heart. And this Paramatma, he wanted to have darshan of Krishna. And then he realized that not just Krishna Swarup, I also desire to have darshan of his God Swarup. So then he appeared as Nityananda Prabhu's son, Veer Chandra. This same Shirodapse, this Shirodashai Vishnu. And Karnabdasai, he is Mahavishnu. That is Advaita Acharya. So there's like a slight difference between the three Purusha avatars. So therefore we say that in his invocation, Kaviraj Goswami in his Mangalacharan, he has described the Tattva of Advaita Acharya. Who is Advaita Acharya? He said, Vande tam Shri Advaita Acharya Adbhuta Cheshtitam Yasya Prasadad Agyopi Tat Swarupam Nirupayet. He said that Vande tam Advaita Acharya Adbhuta Cheshtitam. That I offer my obeisances to Advaita Acharya, who performs Adbhuta Cheshta, performs wonderful activities. And Yasya Prasadad Agyopi, he said, only by his mercy, Agyopi, even fools, Tat Swarupam Nirupayet. Even they can describe his Swarup. And this way, Kaviraj Goswami has described, Tat Swarupam Nirupayet. In the next verse he says, Mahavishnu Jagat Karta, Maya Srijatyada, Tasyavataram Evayam Advaita Acharyam Ishvara. He said. So who is Advaita Acharya? Mahavishnu Jagat Karta. The same Mahavishnu who creates the world. Through who? Through the agency of Maya. Maya Srijatyada. Tasyavataram Evayam Advaita Acharyam Ishvara. The same Advaita Acharya, he is that Ishwar, Mahavishnu himself, who doesn't directly create the material world, but through the agency of Maya. Like we just heard now, he glances at Maya. And then we see in another invocation, he describes why he is called Advaita and why he is called Acharya. He said, Advaitam Haritad Dvaitad, Acharyam Bhakti Samshayat, Bhaktavataram Ishamtam Advaita Acharyam Ashraya. He said, Advaitam Haridad Dvaitad. He said that he is called Advaita because Hari Advaita. He is non-different from Sri Hari. And why is he called Acharya? Acharyam Bhakti Shamashanat. Because he is distributing, propagating this pure devotional service. And also is Bhaktavataram Ishamtam. He is also Bhaktavatar, but he is also Isha. He is also Prabhu. He's appearing in the guise of a devotee, but he is also the Supreme Lord himself. Therefore, Advaita Acharyam Ashraye. I take shelter of Sri Advaita Acharya, he said. Then he said, Srila Kaviraj Goswami, Advaita Acharya Sakshat Ishwar, Tar Mahima Nahe Jiver Gochar. He said, who is Advaita Acharya? Is Sakshat Ishwar. And Tar Mahima Nahe Jiver Gochar. His glories are not easily understood by the jivas, by the living entities. Mahavishnu Shrishti Karen Jagadadi Karya, Mahavishnu Shrishti Karen Jagadadi Karya, Sakshat Avatar Shri Advaita Chandra, he said. And they say Mahavishnu, he initiates this process of creation. And the Sakshat Avatar is Shri Advaita Acharya himself. So in this way, in all these Bengali pyres, Srila Kaviraj Goswami has given such beautiful descriptions of Advaita Tattva. Like we just heard now, so much Advaita Tattva. Again, he has said that Sankarshan Avatar Garbodha Sai, he said. Sankarshan Avatar Garbodha Sai, Tar Hriday Bhaktabhav Anujai, he said. So who is Sankarshan Avatar? Sankarshan Avatar Garbodha Sai. No, Sankarshan Avatar Karnabdha Sai. Sankarshan Avatar Karnabdha Sai means this direct expansion of Sankarshan is Karnabdha Sai Vishnu. This is Advaita Acharya. Sankarshan Avatar Karnabdha Sai, Tar Hriday Bhaktabhav Angikar. And in his own heart, he wanted to accept this mood of this Bhaktabhav. He wanted to appear in the guise of a devotee. And say Prakash Bede Shri Advaita Acharya Kai Mano Vakye Bhakti Sada Karya. So see here again, this Mahavishnu Tattva. Say Prakash Bede Advaita Acharya Kai Mano Vakye Bhakti Sada Karya. That this Prakash Bed of this Sankarshan Avatar Karnabdha Sai is Advaita Acharya. And Kai Mano Vakye Bhakti Sada Karya. And by his body, by his mind, by his words, he is always executing all these devotional activities. But still, who is he? What conception does he have? Vakya kahe mui Chaitanya anuchar. He said, Vakya kahe mui Chaitanya anuchar, tar mui bhakta mane bhava nirantar. He said. So you see here again, Kaviraj Goswami, he has given such beautiful explanations. Vakya kahe, Mui Chaitanya Anuchar, he said. So Advaita Acharya is saying by his own words, who am I? Mui Chaitanya Anuchar. I am the servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is saying. Mui tar bhakta sada bhave nirantar, he is saying. And this mood of being a bhakta, this mood is always in my heart. He is saying, sada bhave nirantar. This is continuously present in my heart. And then he said, Jala tulasi dehi. Ei seva kayate man. He said he gave this jal tulsi, and what does he do? Bhakti pracharya tarilo tribhuvan, he said. Just by giving this tulsi and water, like we just heard now. Tulsi jalamatrena jalasa chulukena va swayaratmanam viknitam swayaratmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. Krishna, he sells himself to that devotee, offers a tulsi. So Advaita Acharya, what did he do? He gave this tulsi. And at the same time, simultaneously, what did he do? He Bhakti Pracharya Triloka Taran. This way, he, by preaching this pure devotional service, he delivered all the three worlds himself. And again, if you see in this 6th chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, again, Srila Kaviraj Goswami is describing so many wonderful different features of Advaita Acharya. He's saying, Ishwar Ganer Bhakta Bhava Adhikar. He said that although there are all these different Purushavatars like Mahavishnu, Karnab Desai, Garbhodh Shai, Shirobh Desai, still they have this Adhikar for Ishwar Ganer Bhakta Bhava Adhikar. He's saying they have this Adhikar to appear as a devotee. And Tar Hridaye, Tar Bhakta Bhav Angikar, Tar Hridaye, there they said once they accept this Bhakta Bhav in their heart, once they accept this Bhakta Bhav, Adhik Sukha Nahi Yaar. Bhakta Bhava Angikar, Adhik Sukha Nahi Yaar. You see here, Ishwar Ganer, Bhakta Bhava Adhikar, Bhakta Bhava Hridaye, Adhik Sukha Nahi Yaar. Once they've embraced this own conception of being a Bhakta, then there's no greater source of joy for them than accepting the mood of a devotee. They're Ishwars, they're the Purushavatars, but still, once they accept the mood of being a Bhakta, then Bhakta Bhava Hridaye, Adhik Sukha Nahi Yaar. The Sukha they experience is so much, they're saying. And Mool Bhaktavatar Sri Sankarshan. Mool Bhaktavatar is Sri Sankarshan. Tar, Mool Bhaktavatar Sri Sankarshan, Bhaktavatar Tai Sri Advaita Ganan. Again, Kaviraj Goswami said, Mool Bhaktavatar Sri Sankarshan, Bhaktavatar Tai Advaita Ganan. That who is Advaita Acharya? He is also one of the Bhaktavatars. Although he is Sankarshan himself, although he is Mahavishnu himself, he is also one of the Bhaktavatars. Therefore, who is the glories of Advaita Acharya cannot easily be understood. Advaita Acharya Mahima Apar, Tar Hunkara Hailo Chaitanya Avatar. Hudu Hudu Shabda Elo Advaita Chandra. See here, Advaita Acharya is called Gauran Thakur. He is called Nara. Why? Advaita Acharya Apar, Tar Hunkar Hoy Chaitanya Avatar. Just by his Hunkar, by his loud roaring calls, he beckoned Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to appear in this world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was destined to come in Kali Yuga, but there was no guarantee when he would appear. But he appeared, if he would appear in Pratham Sandhya, or Madhya Sandhya, or Antim Sandhya, when would he appear? There was no guarantee. But Jar Hunkar Hoy Chaitanya Avatar. He made sure Mahaprabhu would appear in the Pratham Sandhya of Kali Yuga. Pratham Sandhya means the first 5,000 years of Kali Yuga. You see, Mahaprabhu appeared like 500 years back. So he appeared like 4,500 years after his own disappearance as Sri Krishna. So Advaita Acharya, he's like this. And what do you do? Sankirtana Pracharilo Jagata Tarilo. Sankirtana Pracharilo Jagata Tarilo Advaita Prasada Jagat Premadhana Pailo. So see here again Kaviraj Goswami saying Sankirtana Pracharilo Jagat Tarilo. By preaching the Sankirtan, he has delivered the entire world. And Advaita Prasada Loke Premdhana Pailo. And by the mercy of Advaita Acharya, the Lok, that is all the inhabitants of this world, have obtained Prem. Premadhana Pailo. Therefore, he has said, Advaita Mahima Ananta Ki Kohite, he's saying. Advaita Mahima Ananta Ki Kohite. But still he's saying, Sei Liki Jai Shuni Mahajana Hoite, he's saying. Advaita Mahima Ananta Ki Kohite, Sei Liki Jai Shuni Mahajana Hoite, he's saying. He's saying, how much can I describe the unlimited glories of Advaita Acharya? But still, Sei Liki Jai Shuni Mahajana Hoite, he's saying. I'm writing down whatever I've heard. Whatever I've heard from the Mahajans, I'm writing it down, he's saying. Acharya Charan Koti Namaskar. Ihate Apradamui Kichu nahi yaar. Ihate Aprade na labe amar, he's saying. He's saying, Acharya Prabhu Charan Koti Namaskar. I'm offering millions of obeisances at the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya. And Ihate Aparada Kichu na labe amar. Kindly, Prabhu, don't accept any of my offenses. He's praying. Tar Mahima Koti Samudra Agad, he's saying. Tar Mahima Koti Samudra Agad. Your Mahima is like millions of oceans, he's saying. It's deeper than millions of oceans. And he's saying, Ite ache mo bodo aparad. Anyone who tries to estimate the length and breadth of this ocean, ihayate mo bodo aparad. Ihayate kahe mo bodo aparad. If anyone has the audacity to even think, oh, I can finish the glorification of Advaita Acharya, then mo bodo aparad. Then he is a great offender at the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya. So therefore we see in all these payars, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has given such a beautiful description of Advaita Tattva, who Advaita Acharya is. And if you see Kaviraj Goswami, who did he get especially one of his main Siksha Gurus were Rupa Raghunatha Pade Kare Jaras Chaitanya Charit Kahe Krishna Das. So if you see who is one of his main Siksha Gurus, is Raghunath Das Goswami. And Raghunath Das Goswami, his Kadacha, he gave to Kaviraj Goswami. And who did Raghunath Das Goswami get all these instructions from? From Sarup Damodar Goswami. Whatever Sarup Damodar Goswami had directly witnessed, he had recorded down in his Kadacha and he gave to Raghunath Das Goswami. And Raghunath Das Goswami, he gave to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So therefore we see all these descriptions that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has given has ultimately come from whom? It has come from Sarup Damodar Goswami. And also if you see Raghunath Das Goswami, who is his Diksha Guru? We all know that his Diksha Guru is Sarup Damodar Goswami and Rupa Goswami. But still, who is his Diksha Guru? His Diksha Guru is Yadunandan Acharya. And whose disciple is Yadunandan Acharya? Yadunandan Acharya is Advaita Acharya's disciple. Therefore, Yadunandan Acharya also personally witnessed all these things. All these leelas of Advaita Acharya. And what did he do? He spoke them to Raghunath Das Goswami. Because we see Raghunath Das Goswami had great love for his initiating spiritual master also. He had great love for him. Because he arranged for Raghunath Das Goswami to leave home. We know that Raghunath Das Goswami, he was finding it so difficult to leave home. Then Yadunandan Acharya, he made a plan. He said, all right, go fetch one of my sevaks, I can't find them. Then he went looking around for some sevaks, he couldn't find them, and on that pretext he left home. And then his parents were so angry. And whom did they direct their anger at? They didn't direct their anger at anyone specifically, but still they were thinking Yadunandan Acharya, he sent Raghunath away. So therefore they were thinking that maybe he had a hand to play in this. So you see here, his guru had such a integral part in Raghunath Das Goswami leaving home. And whose disciple is he? He is disciple of Advaita Acharya in this way. And therefore, as Advaita Acharya's disciple, he gave so many instructions to Raghunath Das Goswami. And all these instructions have culminated in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Therefore, we see there in Chaitanya Charitamrita again, Kaviraj Goswami is saying that Jar Dara Kailo Sankirtan Pracharilo, Jar Dara Karen Jagata Nistarilo. Mahaprabhu, what did he do? Jar Dara Karen Sankirtan Pracharilo, Jar Dara Karen Jagata Nistarilo. Through Advaita Acharya, he preached Sankirtan. And through Advaita Acharya, Jagata Nistarilo. He delivered the entire world. So all these payars there in Bengali, they are so beautiful there. They are giving such nice tattva siddhant there. These payars are like concise aphorisms of tattva siddhant. And we see the very leelas of Advaita Acharya. How he has, by his own pastimes, he has taught everyone. We see how Mahaprabhu himself, he even externally became angry at his own mother. Because Sachimata was thinking that Advaita Acharya is the reason that Vishnu Prabhu left home. So she was thinking that, oh, he's not Advaita, he's Dvaita. Because he cuts down relationships. Because we know Vishnu Prabhu, he would always go listen to Advaita Acharya. Why? Bhagavad Gita kahe Acharya, Gyan karma nindikari bhakti badaiya. When Advaita Acharya would speak on the Gita and Bhagavad, what did he do? He would Gyan karma nindikari. He would criticize these processes of Gyan and karma. And bhakti badaiya. He would glorify bhakti so much. Therefore, Vishnu Prabhu was especially drawn to him. And then we know eventually he left home. So Sachimata, then we know after Vishnu Prabhu left home, Jagannath Mishra couldn't tolerate any separation. And he also left home. He also left his body. So then she lost both her son and her father. So then we know Nimai, he would also go listen from Advaita Acharya. And sometimes we know that Sachidevi, she'd send Nimai, go and fetch your elder brother. And then when Nimai would go to bring Vishwarup Prabhu, there Advaita Acharya would look at this boy and he'd think, who is this boy? He steals my heart so much. We know that this boy was his Prabhu himself, but still Nimai was thinking, oh, you called me to this world and you don't recognize me anymore. And then Nimai, he would take his elder brother and go away. And since then, Advaita Acharya, his mind always be drawn to him so much. Like we know he was staying in Shantipur, but just because Nimai was born in Mayapur, he also came and he started staying there in Advaita Bhavan with Sita Thakurani and Sri Devi, his two Shaktis. And it is also said that Kuver Pandit, the father of Advaita Acharya, he is actually Kuver himself. So Kuver, he desired to have Shiva as his son. So he performed a lot of austerities. So then we hear that Shivji himself appeared as his son. And Namadevi is his mother. In Gaur Ganadesh Deepika, if you see, Kavi Karnapur Goswami has described who Advaita Acharya is. It is said that once Sadashiv, when he had darshan of Golok Vrindavan, when he was having darshan of Golok Vrindavan, he saw the Sakhas. And the Sakhas were doing this Alak Chakravat Leela. Alak Chakravat means they were taking this firebrand and they were turning it around in circles, playing with Krishna. So then Sadashiv, he also had this greed in his heart. Oh, I also want to play like these Sakhas. And then he appeared as Advaita Acharya. Therefore, we see in one Leela there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see once Advaita Acharya, he told Mahaprabhu, can you take this stick, this lakuti, and can you throw it in the air, high up in the air, and catch it again mid-air? Because Advaita Acharya was saying, I know who you are, you're a coward boy. So he was like teasing Mahaprabhu. And Advaita Acharya, he would take the stick, turn it high up in the air, throw it up in the air, and in the middle of the air, he would catch it. And then Mahaprabhu seeing him, he also got so much Uddipan, then he'd also take the stick, throwing it high up in the air, and he would catch it. Therefore, Kavi Karnapur Goswami has given this description there in Gaur Ganadesh Deepika, that he would see this Alak Chakravat Leela, Sadashiv, and he got so much greed, he appeared as Advaita Acharya. And we see this Leela there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Advaita Acharya and Mahaprabhu, they're performing this Alak Chakravat Leela in this way. So here we see that Advaita Acharya, by his instructions, by his life, by his ideal, he has shown so much. Once Vallabhacharya, he came to Mahaprabhu and he said, oh, according to Vedic etiquette, a wife should not take the name of her husband. But all of you are always taking the name of Krishna. How is this? I cannot reconcile. Vallabhacharya asked Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu, he told Advaita Acharya to answer. You answer, he told Vallabhacharya. Because Vallabhacharya and Advaita Acharya, they were like of the same age. Then Advaita Acharya, he said, all right. What has Prabhu said? What has Bhagavan said? He said, Hare Nam, Hare Nam. Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalau nasteva nasteva gatireva anyata. He has said, only chant Hari Nam. So our Swami, our Prabhu, what instruction has he given? He has said, he is always chant Hari Nam. Therefore, if we are his devoted servants, then what is our etiquette? That we follow every instruction he has said. And what instruction has he said? To always chant Hari Nam. Therefore, we are only following his instruction in this way. Even if it means speaking out his name. And then again, Vallabhacharya, he said, oh, I've given some explanation of Harinam. And then Mahaprabhu said, oh, I only know that Krishna is Yashodanandan, the beloved son of Yashoda, and he's Shyam Sundar. He's most beautiful, he is. This is the only thing I know. I don't know anything else, he said. So in this way, Advaita Acharya, even in Mahaprabhu's Leela, he served to instruct so many. So many. Like we see even Advaita Acharya's son, he himself was such a great teacher. When he was a small boy, once some devotee came from Gaudamandal and he asked Achyutananda, that he asked Advaita Acharya, who is Mahaprabhu's guru? Then Advaita Acharya said, Keshav Bharati, because Keshav Bharati had given sannyas to Mahaprabhu. And when Achyutananda Prabhu heard this, he became so angry, he became so upset. He said that, oh, you're saying that he's the son of, he's the guru of Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu himself is Jagat Guru. And how can you say that he is his guru? And Achyutananda Prabhu saying this, then he fell unconscious on the ground. Then Advaita Acharya, he said, really, I am not your son. I am not your father. Rather, I am your son and you're my father. Like Mukunda, he said the same thing to Raghunandan Thakur. I am not your father. You're my father and I am your son. In this way. And we see Achyutananda Prabhu also, we heard this Leela, how once Advaita Acharya, he was going somewhere else and he told his wife, Sita Thakurani, that he offer some bhoga to Mahaprabhu. And then Achyutananda Prabhu, he was told to offer this bhoga, these bananas to Mahaprabhu. And then he went and offered them. And then Sita Thakurani said, where is the Mahaprasad, the remnants? He said, oh, how can you told me to offer Mahaprasad? So I made sure Mahaprabhu would come, eat everything, and then only I'd leave. He was a small boy. So then when Advaita Acharya returned, then Sita Thakurani said, maybe this boy is lying. He ate all the bananas himself, or maybe someone else has eaten. Then Advaita Acharya said, which mantra have you chanted? And he said, I've chanted that mantra. Which mantra? The Gaur Gopal mantra. Therefore we see in Mahaprabhu's Leela, 2 associates chanted this Gaur Gopal mantra. One is Achyutananda Prabhu and one is Nakul Brahmachari. Because we know that Shivananda Sen, he wanted to test Nakul. He was thinking, does Mahaprabhu really appear within the form of Nakul Brahmachari? If he really appears within the form of Nakul Brahmachari, in this mantra that I'm chanting, Nakul Brahmachari will know. And then Nakul Brahmachari, when he saw Shivananda Sen, he said, yes, I know which mantra you're chanting. You're chanting this Gaur Gopal mantra. And then immediately all his doubts were dispelled in this way. Whatever doubts he had regarding Nakul's devotion to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way we see Advaita Acharya, he arranged for all the devotees to meet with Mahaprabhu. Who can perform a greater service than this? And arranging for all the bhaktas to meet with Mahaprabhu. Like we see that when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, when he left, then what did Mahaprabhu do? He was crossing the river, then Nityananda Prabhu, he told some boys there, oh, if you see one sannyasi here, immediately tell him this is Vrindavan. And then when Mahaprabhu came, he looked at the Ganga, he thought it was Yamuna, and he asked these boys, is this Vrindavan? He said yes. Then he saw Advaita Acharya coming on the boat with some fresh pair of cloth. Then Mahaprabhu looked at Advaita Acharya and he said, what are you doing here? Is this Vrindavan? Then he said, yes, this is Vrindavan. Then is this the Yamuna? He said, yes, this is the Yamuna. Then Mahaprabhu said, how is this the Yamuna? This is the Ganga. Then he said, no. Because we see in Shantipur, we see the Yamuna flows on the west side and the Ganga flows on the east side. So on that day, Mahaprabhu had actually had a bath on the west side of the river, not on the east side. And Shantipur was situated on the west side of the river. So Advaita Acharya was speaking the truth. That Mahaprabhu actually, he took a bath on the west side of the river. So then Mahaprabhu, he came there. And then Advaita Acharya, he arranged for everyone to meet Mahaprabhu. Even Mahaprabhu's own mother, Sachidevi, came there. And she cooked a huge feast. And then we know that when Sachidevi, Mahaprabhu, he told Sachidevi, oh mother, I took sannyas out of sentimentality. So if you want, I'll give up this sannyas. And Sachidevi said, never. If you give up sannyas, then what will people say? I cannot tolerate anyone criticizing you. Then she said, all right. Rather than going to Vrindavan, you go to Jagannath Puri. So who inspired Sachidevi to speak these words? We have heard from the Vaishnavas. Who inspired her to speak these words? This was actually Sita Thakurani. Why? Sita Thakurani is Yogamaya herself. And Sita Thakurani, she inspired Sachidevi to say, you go to Jagannath Puri rather than going to Vrindavan. Why? Because if Mahaprabhu was in Vrindavan, then every Leela Sthali of Vrindavan would have reminded him that he is Krishna himself. Then how could he have possibly relished these moods of Srimati Radhika? This Prem Ras Niryas Korite Aswadan. How could he have done that in Vrindavan? Because every particle of dust, what to speak of every Leela Sthali, every particle of dust would have reminded him of his identity as being Krishna. Therefore, Yogamaya Sita Thakurani, she inspired Sachidevi to say, you go to Jagannath Puri. Because then at least I can get some news from some devotees back and forth about how you are. And then we hear that Mahaprabhu, he went to Jagannath Puri. And then we know Advaita Acharya, he held such a beautiful puja on the eve of his Guru Maharaj's disappearance, Madhavendra Puri. Such a beautiful Tirobhav Tithi he held. And Mahaprabhu, everyone came there and they honored so much Mahaprasad. And Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu, they're quarreling. Advaita Acharya saying, which caste are you from? And Nityananda Prabhu saying, teasing, so many back and forth, so many things happened. And this way Mahaprabhu said, just see this prasad, how beautiful this is. And then we see when Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri also, who take all the devotees from Gauda Mandal to Kshetra Mandal? Who? Advaita Acharya. Shivananda Sen, he would take all the devotees under the guidance of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya would take all the Gauda Mandal Vasis from there, where they would stay for 4 months there in Jagannath Puri with Mahaprabhu in this way. And then, like we know, like lastly, just end with this, like we see that Advaita Acharya, he always wanted to feed Mahaprabhu so much Mahaprasad. But Mahaprabhu, we know he was the ideal sannyasi. He used to always say, Vairagi Krita Sada Nam Sankirtan. Like only the shark patra fool, only take only the shark and mool, nothing else, kandamul. We know Mahaprabhu, like we heard the other in Harikatha, that even a small black spot on a white piece of cloth, then no one will look at the white piece of cloth, they'll only look at that black spot. Saying, oh, look at that black spot. So Mahaprabhu himself showed how he was an ideal sannyasi in this way. And then we know that when Advaita Acharya, whenever he would invite Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu would come with so many sannyasis and Mahaprabhu would only eat so much, very little. Especially after meeting Ramchandra Puri, Mahaprabhu even cut that to half. Because Ramchandra Puri, he was saying, oh, where are these ants coming from? Then Mahaprabhu, then everyone was so angry at Ramchandra Puri. Then Mahaprabhu said, he's my well-wisher. He's finding all my faults out. Who can do that? Will any of you tell my faults? He's telling my faults. Therefore the Vaishnavas, they say there's one saying in Bengali, one who's criticizing you, you always keep him next to you, one who's criticizing. He'll find all your faults out, and he'll tell you, you have this fault, that fault. Unless you have that fault yourself, how will you correct it then? These ninduks are the best friends in the temple. If it's not for the ninduks, then you can never make any advancement in the temple. Gradually, that we'll realize that. These ninduks are our best friends. Anything you do, they'll find a fault. They'll say, hey, why are you doing like this? Why are you doing like that? Then next time you'll be very careful. Oh, the ninduk is right next to me. He's right next to me, this ninduk. I have to be careful now what he'll say. Because if you see a ninduk, he's more than even Paramatma. Even he notices your actions more than even Paramatma also. He knows more about you than you know about your own self. Ninduk is like that. There's so many things you don't, sometimes you feel that, oh, I didn't know those things about myself. He knows more about me than I know more about myself. Ninduks are like that. These ninduks are like priceless for every temple. Very priceless assets for the temple. So then we see Mahaprabhu, then he cut down everything half. And then we know Advaita Acharya, then he summoned Indra, then he caused so much rainfall, and he offered a huge feast for Mahaprabhu then. Offered a huge feast, and Mahaprabhu as Jagannath, he honored everything. And then we see, why did Advaita Acharya stay for so many more years after Mahaprabhu left? Why? Because he had to train Narottam Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, Shyamananda Prabhu. He had to train all of them. And we see actually in Prem Vilas, it is said that Srinivas Acharya, when he came, Advaita Acharya had already left. But just for his sake, he again appeared and gave him so many instructions. And why did he stay for so many years? Especially the main reason, Gurudev says, because as soon as Bhagavan leaves, there'll be Mahapralaya in this world. The entire world will be plunged into chaos if Bhagavan himself leaves. So Advaita Acharya as Mahavishnu, he made sure that the world stays in a state of equilibrium, that there won't be any Mahapralaya. And he made sure that this path of bhakti will continue on. So therefore, all these tithis are so wonderful. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, we see the sons of Advaita Acharya, some went astray. So therefore, there was one person, Rup Kaviraj, he was saying all the sons of Advaita Acharya, most of the sons, they're not bona fide. Then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur himself cut all his arguments. He's saying, how can you say that? Achyutananda Prabhu was a bona fide devotee of Advaita Acharya. Are you saying he's also not bona fide? Then he stood up and cut all his arguments. So this most wonderful line of Advaita Acharya is continuing to this day. Param Gurudev's own parents, they were initiated by Vijay Krishna Goswami. And Vijay Krishna Goswami, he was in the line of Advaita Acharya. So it was a very auspicious tithi. Advaita Acharya, he can give us this Gaur Prem, Radha Prem, everything that we possibly aspire to. Therefore we see even now his temple is near Seva Kunj. If you go there, there's Sitanath, one temple right there near Seva Kunj. He's giving Seva Adhikar for anyone who wants to enter into Seva Kunj. So very auspicious tithi that he only blesses us, that we gradually advance in this path of Krishna Bhakti. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripasindhyacha patitanam padanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Ananjana Salakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Bolo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We offer our unlimited satsanganam Vaishnavas under their care and guidance, remembering the glories of this great personality.